Hello and welcome to NCTV on tour. Well, only up the road for me at Broadbridge Heath Tennis Club, but outside the clinic nonetheless. Now, as you're watching this, Wimbledon season will be well and truly underway, which means Pimm's, strawberries and cream are everywhere. And suddenly, many of us are feeling inspired to dust off that old tennis racket that hasn't seen daylight since Andy Murray had both hips. And it's not just tennis. Over the last few years, sports such as Padel and Pickleball have exploded in popularity. And whilst badminton and squash remain as popular as ever as well. The problem is that whilst racket sports are fantastic for fitness, coordination and socialising, they're also very good at exposing joint and muscle problems that may have been quietly minding their own business up until now. So today we're looking at the most common racket sports injuries, how to reduce your risk and what to do if you pick one up. A quick fact for you. During a typical tennis match, players can change direction hundreds of times and cover several miles of movement. And that's a lot of twisting, turning and sprinting and stopping, often in a surprisingly short space of time. It's a little wonder why the body complains about that. So what are the common injuries that you see? And let's start with the obvious one, tennis elbow. Interestingly, many people with tennis elbow have never actually played tennis. And tennis elbow is irritation of the tendons on the outside of the elbow, and it's often caused by repetitive gripping and wrist movements. Racket sports can certainly trigger it though, particularly when technique is poor, grip size is wrong, or you've suddenly increased how much you're playing. And typical symptoms include pain on the outside of the elbow, weak grip, discomfort lifting kettles, shopping bags, or even a mug of tea, which, let's be honest, is where things become serious. And moving on to shoulder problems, serving, smashing and overhead shots place significant demand on the shoulder. Common issues include rotator cuff irritation, shoulder impingement, muscle strains and general stiffness. Often the shoulder isn't actually weak, it's simply being asked to do more than it's prepared for. And next we have calf and Achilles injuries. Racket sports involve a lot of quick acceleration, sudden stops and changes in direction. And this places huge demand on the calves and Achilles tendons. And these injuries are particularly common in what could affectionately be called weekend Wimbledon warriors. Bit of a tongue twister. People who haven't played much recently but suddenly spend about 3 hours on the court just because the sun's out. And then there's knee pain. Tennis, paddle and pickleball all involve repeated twisting and pivoting. The knees absorb a lot of these forces, and this can lead to tendon irritation, ligament strains, and general knee pain, especially if strength, balance, and conditioning aren't where they need to be. And now, let us not forget lower back pain. Rotational sports and lower back pains have a complicated relationship. Repeated serving, reaching, and twisting can aggravate muscle strains, joint irritation, and existing back problems, particularly when flexibility and core strength are lacking. So how can you reduce your risk of injury? Firstly, warming up properly. I know nobody likes warming up, but spending 5 minutes preparing your body is far more preferable to spending 5 weeks recovering from injury. You can focus on gentle jogging, dynamic stretching, shoulder mobility, and practice swings. Secondly, build up gradually. Your enthusiasm shouldn't be allowed to dictate your workload. Your tissues need time to adapt. Thirdly, strengthen the body, away from the court that is. Simple exercises for legs, core, shoulder and balance can dramatically reduce injury risk. And finally, listen to warning signs. A little soreness is normal. Pain that's worsening, lingering or affecting performance is usually worth addressing sooner rather than later. So where does osteopathy fit into all this? Osteopathy can help by improving joint mobility, reducing muscle tension, supporting recovery from strains and overuse injuries, assessing movement patterns and helping you return to activity safely. And it's often not just about treating the painful area, it's about understanding why it became overloaded in the first place. Other helpful options include physiotherapy, sports massage, strength and conditioning programs, coaching to improve technique, and rehabilitation exercises. Often the best results come from combining several of these approaches. And one final fact for you, Research suggests that recreational racket sports participation is associated with some of the greatest longevity benefits from any form of exercise. So despite everything we've been discussing today, don't let injury worries put you off. The goal isn't to avoid activity, it's to stay active intelligently. And that's it for today's bite-sized bit to help your health flourish. Whether you're inspired by Wimbledon, enjoying a game of badminton, discovering pickleball or padel, prepare well, build up gradually and listen to what your body is telling you so that you can focus more on your backhand and less on your bad back. See you next time. Bye for now.